All right. So I'm going to talk about it. So we're going to talk about the spiritual connection. So the individual has left. I believe we went into some type of separation. I can't remember when shit. It comes and it goes. Okay. So the thing is that spiritually, we don't, like, it's not just spiritually that we don't want the same things. Where, like, I don't know who it is. One person is not willing to grow in the same way as the other person. I could sit here and assume that, I'm growing in a, I'm growing one way, and this individual, either they don't want to grow, they don't want to take on the work, something. Okay, so when it comes to soulmates teach us lessons about ourselves. So it's a reflection, and a soulmate can be anybody. So you have to pay attention to what it is about a soulmate that maybe you don't like, or you feel funny or weird about, because that is going to reflect something about yourself. It may not be in the same way, but this is just why you have to be careful with the soulmates, because the soulmates can, you guys are different, but there are similarities. So when it comes to the differences can be a distraction, because you're so worried about what you don't like or what you don't approve about this other person, when in all actuality it's a reflected image. So somewhere within who you are, within what you have going on, you are displaying the same thing. Okay, so somebody may have saw the reflection, so maybe somebody has learned the lesson. If the lesson is learned, then the contract is over. Um, Meaning that you go to a next level soulmate, okay, or they go to a next level soulmate. Okay, if somebody ran away from the situation, if it the thing is that if it's not an agreement between the two, then 9 times out of 10, somebody has moved towards more karmic type of energy. Okay. And a lot of the times, the runner does this because, they don't feel good enough. You know, Maybe they got caught. It's like a flight or fight response. So you have one person who may be more honest than the other. And, maybe one individual just can't handle certain conversations or being confronted. Well, so that makes the situation, imbalanced. These connections are protected. So when there's an imbalance, there's a separation instead of consequences. And so when it comes to the separation, you have a choice. You're going to go forward or you're going to go move backwards. I mean, that's if you don't learn the lesson. Obviously, when you learn the lesson, then you're making a choice to move forward, to level up. Okay. So yeah, so that's that. You know, I kind of feel like this individual was like booted out of the way because I had another spirit friend come in. Haven't spoken or connected to this spirit friend in a while, in years. There's actually been a lot of warfare between the two of us. I don't know what has changed, but things have changed. And in a way, it's like I find myself being in a certain space with this individual that we once occupied with each other, but it's not the same. I can tell that, a lot has transpired, and this person has been going through things. It doesn't feel the same at all. And the thing is that when change is there, it doesn't feel the same, you know. So in a way, it's like having to get to know somebody all over again, you know. But I mean, he came in there real smooth, you know. We went to the beach, the other day. I made a video about this. We went to the beach, and it was so windy. It was like California windy, you know. Like Virginia, the weather is unpredictable, but it's never just like consistent without breaks in between. Like it's never just a windy day and it just blows all day, every day, nonstop, you know. But I experienced that when I went to California. It felt like it was this giant fan, and somebody just turned on this giant fan and would not cut that bitch off. I've never experienced wind like that before. So we went to the beach this weekend. That's exactly what was happening. I'm just like, well, thank you for the wind bath. Like thank you. It was like thank you, but there was a part of me that felt like something was being blown out of my aura. Okay, so I have a feeling that um when me and the soulmate went into some type of separation, like maybe they weren't holding on, but they were trying to like linger around or something. So it's like the other spiritual friend, it's like they came in and blew them out of the way. That's what I felt like the wind was symbolizing, because I'm just like, oh my God, this wind is crazy. You know, it was messing with my, what is it called? Medulla oblongatas? Medulla oblongatas? That spot behind your ears. I was like, wow, this is a new sensation. This is a little uncomfortable, you know. So, but I pretty much came into that enlightenment. I was like, wow, because that was very unusual how windy it was. And it was just ridiculous. And all of my life living in Virginia, unless it's a hurricane, the wind does not blow like that. I was like, wow. So, this individual, he's very tapped in. So, I mean, I don't know if the human him really understands it, or if I'm just connecting like with his higher self. But me and my sister, we kind of had, it wasn't a picnic, but we just took the blanket and we just kind of sat outside in front of the creek, and I got a vision of this individual like laying down beside me. It was weird because he was laying down beside me. He was wearing a suit. He was like laying in the grass. So, while I'm being human, connecting with my sister, you know what I'm saying? We're talking. There's also like this side conversation that I'm having with this spiritual friend too. I'm just like, oh my God, I'm in between worlds right now. But that was the place that I wanted to be. And, a lot of the times when it comes to the soulmates, sometimes third parties can be a bit of a distraction after a while. I think it's good to have a third party because it just kind of lightens things up, and it doesn't make things so personal, intimate, or connective. You know, it's very, very friendly, you know. So, I have no idea. I have no idea what this person wants. I can't really think straight or think clearly right now. I have like other stuff on my mind. There's weird shit going on. It's the extraterrestrials, you know. The communication is very loud. But it's just like, I mean, they keep shutting off the TV, they keep cutting off the cable. Like I barely watch TV anyway. But there are times to where I just need to relax my mind and not be so much in the spirit, you know. Just want to be practical, sometimes. I mean, whatever. I could sit here all day and say what I want, what I think, but I think I've been shown many times before, I'm just not going to live like a normal life, okay? So I call myself creating a little normalcy through, you know, doing human shit, watching TV, you know, whatever. I'm just, it's, I just feel like this friend wants more from me And I'm just like, oh my God, the timing, I can't think, I can't feel like I'm so in the flow right now. And I'm not coming down right now. Dealing with the warfare, I have to rise up. So I have to be up. But the spiritual friend, obviously, they were in a higher dimension than me. So what goes up must come down. So to where he was up and he was able to reach me spiritually, it's like now I'm up spiritually, which means that he's going to be grounded. Okay. I think I think that we're both confused as to what is happening. I don't know. It's dark and it's very mysterious right now. It's very auspicious. I just have a feeling he thought it was going to be easier. And the thing is, well, I mean, I don't really trust him. So of course not. I don't I don't feel anything, you know. Like the sexual energy is absolutely through the roof though, you know. The creative energy, but I don't know, that's where it's supposed to be, you know. Cuz I mean, I'm not picking up I think my brain is going through a metamorphosis. I have thoughts, but I have no feelings behind these thoughts. You know, the other day I was saying to myself, I was just like, sometimes I feel like men are I feel like they're only good for sex, you know. And I can't believe I said, why would I say that? Why am I thinking that? I don't feel anything from saying it, but it makes me happy. I'm just like, oh my God, am I admitting this to myself? Am I admitting this to myself? And then I tell myself, I'm just like, that's not proactive. And that's not a seed that you want to plant in your mind. Oh, but it is. Oh, it's two sides of me. You know what I mean? It feels good to say that. But it's surprising that I think that way. I don't think anybody, well, I've never thought or felt as if anybody should be limited to just, sex. But when I do reflection over the years, I think about, after that one time, like after, like hooking up with a guy, I just don't want anything to do with them. I don't know. I'm just like, what has happened? Doing the reflection is the shit that really fucked me up because I'm just like, damn, when I think about it, every time after I get what I want, it's like I don't want to be bothered by them. Because I ghost people, and it's crazy because it's just like I never let anybody know too much about me, like how they can find me or access me. And, they go on the block list when I don't want to deal with them anymore. And I'm just like, oh my God, it's like I have been using people and using men and just disposing of them. But then the truth kicks in. The truth is that if I liked, if I enjoyed being intimate with them, then I would want to keep them around. But there was nobody to where, I wanted anything consistent with them. So, with that truth, with that realization, I was just like, oh, okay, okay, okay. So it's not that I'm loving them and leaving them. It's just there's nothing there that I want to stay around for. I feel like I sound like a jerk, but that is the truth. Like I said, I don't have any feelings. I'm not upset, but I'm not happy. You know, it doesn't bring me pleasure to think about, you know, loving them and leaving them. And I'm not angry to the point to where I want some type of false sense of revenge and fulfillment for myself to where I'm angry. So I'm going to love them and leave them. You know, it's nothing like that. So it's like, well, what is it? I. So, you know, I don't really understand what's going on between me and this other individual. I mean, I don't know what I want. I don't have any expectations. I don't have any desire right now. I don't really have any ambition. I mean, it's more so towards work. It's more so with trying to restore, you know, the things that have delayed me or the things that I have lost from people just like constantly attacking me for the last like 3 to 4 years. I've had to put so much on hold. You know, you know, I've had to sacrifice a lot, you know. I've had to grow, I've had to build, I've had to discover other things. You know, it's like I had to get lost for like 3 years, 3 to 4 years, you know. So it just kind of feels like, you know, now it's my time. You know, a lot of setbacks and delays in my life, and I think this is for a lot of people's lives, it has been relationships. It has been trying to incorporate the opposite sex within my life. You know, you don't have to have somebody in your life. You don't have to have some guy or some girl that you're dating or talking to. You don't have to have those things. You know, for a long time when I was a younger woman, we'll say, I felt like there had to be somebody. I had to have some guy. There's always some guy who is waiting, quote unquote, waiting for me, waiting for their turn for me, whatever, whatever. You know, and I thought that that was how it was supposed to be, whether I like them or not. It's like this is a part of life and this is what makes life go round, I guess. I have a full life, I have a job, you know, I have a home that I take care of, I have friends, I have sisters, you know, and then there's like, I have this little hookup connect too on the side, you know, and I say it like that and I absolutely mean it like that. I always just kind of saw a man as something on the side. Oh my God. Oh, I don't think I've ever really respected men. I don't really think that I do now. Oh my God. This is crazy. But so the thing is that I do show and give respect. However, there's been this thing to where with me and men, like I don't respect them. Huh. But my thing is, it doesn't come from like an angry place or a place of resentment towards men. It's just, I guess, due to my experiences. You know, our experiences, they kind of shape and mold us. So I'm pretty sure that if the quality of men that I dealt with were better, then, you know, maybe I would have more fucking respect. I just don't understand why women are forced to put themselves on pedestals, right? To the point to where we hold ourselves in high honor. But that is not required for a man. Like you can just be some dirty hoe and I'm supposed to respect that? If that were me, I would get no respect. You know what I'm saying? And I've always thought that way. Like I understand men and women are not the same, and there are certain things to where as genders we do need to have our boundaries. But for some shit, it's just like cause if a woman is a hoe, that will tell you a lot about her. The same shit applies to a man. Just because men may glorify that, or oh, that's just a man. Men do stuff like that. I mean, women do stuff like that too, but men seem to get away with stuff. It's just like, well, just because you see it that way doesn't mean I'm going to see it that way. Because I damn sure don't. Because I'm going to tell you one thing that a hoe does have to offer is experience. I appreciate experience. So that's what I'm saying. I don't judge, but it's like if you don't give me something to respect, how can I respect? I don't know. I guess I have some things to think about. Well, until it comes time to think about those things, it is what it is. Well, we gonna wrap it up there. Until next time, we'll talk again. Ciao.